Okay, so today actually is the last day of search specific sessions. Next week we'll have the session on displays, then we'll have session on video advertising, mobile advertising, then shopping campaigns, right? And then we'll have these non-adverts sessions like SEO, social media, email and affiliate marketing, Google Analytics and stuff, right? And when I say today is the last session of a search specific topic, it means that we are almost midway into the course, and in fact, well more than midway into AdWords as such. So yeah, just a quick status check. Did anyone venture into the partners test, the GCP test? Not yet. Okay. Anyone else? Which is fine, right? I mean, it's good if you went through the test but scored short of the passing score. It is fine because, as I said last week, there is no upper limit on the number of attempts. It's not charged either. So I'm really glad at least one of you took a stab at it. Yes, please try it again. And the rest of us, please do it. The reason I'm requesting or imploring everyone to try it before the course ends is that if there are questions from the test which you find are important to be discussed, we can do that, right? Today I think is the 7th session, so which means 7 or 8 Sundays from now, and it's done. Right? After that, if you try the test and if you feel a discussion is required, won't be possible, right? So just try it, give it a shot. Because I remember when, yeah, I mean, totally understand, completely understand, because I know once Monday starts, I know it's a crazy race, right? You don't even get time to look at important personal stuff till the weekend. I completely understand that. That's the reason I keep reminding, right? On the other side, we need a push, right? That's the reason I keep giving the push. Because when we discussed about the test, I had a lot of questions, a lot of queries, clarification. So I do understand if everyone is interested in attempting it and clearing it, but due to time constraints, maybe we haven't been able to get into it yet, but please do it, right? Yeah. Google Analytics is session number 12th or 13th session, right? I mean, I do hope all of you have the course content with you. If not, you should be having it. Please, if not, please collect it from your course coordinator. Of course, I mean, definitely ask us here and we can do it, but I'm saying you should it will be helpful if you have it, so that you know what is coming when, and in fact, if you know what is the topic that's going to be discussed on a particular day, you can maybe quickly browse through the deck from the from your EduNext log, right? Cool. So today there are, I think, 4 topics. 2 of them are relatively new. Of course, one of which, that is API, is only an overview. We won't be discussing API here, nor is an AdWords expert expected to know about the working or is expected to work on API, but we'll just quickly have a look at it. And the other one is AdWords editor. Did anyone, I mean, hopefully everyone downloaded the AdWords editor? the adverse editor. I mentioned it as a tool which is used to make changes offline and then verify, or maybe also to make bulk changes and then upload it into the account. Right? Okay, please do it. Today we will be discussing it. Maybe in fact, right now if you do it, you will have it ready when we get there. Right? I think adverse editor is the last topic of the day or penultimate topic of the day. So yeah, you just search and download adverse editor. Just ensure that the link you're clicking on is a link from Google. Look at the URL. Mostly the first link that you'll see at the top is what it is. But yeah, just make sure it is the Google official link. Click on it. Download the specific version which corresponds to your computer. And that's it, right? And the other topic of the day is the opportunity tab, which definitely is not new. It is a tab which is one of the 5 tabs on the campaign page. We did, I think, mention it a couple of times already, so we'll spend a little more time on it. But yeah, since it's not a completely new topic, it won't be very difficult. Right? So we already and the other topic is campaign experiments, which is now called draft campaign. So, which is where you get a chance to when you think there are some changes, but you're not sure if it's going to help your. Yes, I don't think it is from completely official. Yeah, the other topic of the day was the adverse experiments, which is now called adverse draft campaign experiments. So when we know there are some changes which might help, but we are not sure if it will really help, one way out that Google gives is the draft campaign experiment. So what you can do there is you can create a draft campaign, and either of course you can use it as a a means to discuss the suggested changes with others. Right? You can create it as a draft campaign so that others, the other colleagues or managers, the client, your client, who account they can go to the account and check the draft campaign and see what kind of changes you have in mind. Right? That is one thing. Second thing again is if you're not really sure, you can set it as an experiment. You can say use these changes for about 30% of my options, right? And then see how that 30% is performing. And if you see it is performing well, then you can eventually apply it. You can call the experiment success and apply it on the campaign. If not, you can roll back, right? So draft campaign experiment, opportunities tab, API, adverse editor. These are the 4 topics we have for today. Yeah, recap. This is what we saw last week. Keywords, how to match them. Sorry, we looked into the invalid clicks. We looked at some best practices on creating ads. We had a re-look at adverse extensions. We spoke about dynamic search ads. We spoke about how to create dynamic search ads, how to create dynamic ad targets, and how dynamic search ads help you. And we discussed how a landing page, which is your work front, what kind of importance it has in having a successful AdWords account, right? So I think some chat messages are reaching me very late. Yes, I had asked. I had asked if the audio is clear about 10 minutes ago. I see yes, it is now. That's for another more recent question, or I don't know, maybe the chat reached me pretty long. Anyways, right? So that background, let's start today's topic, right? The list you see is what we just discussed: experiments, opportunity tab, API, and editor. Okay, exactly. Okay. Oh yeah, there's one more topic for the day, which is manager account. So, 25 topics. Right? Okay, so let's start with the campaign experiment. And yeah, before that, like always, before we get into the details of the topics for the day, there are some questions from previous sessions or somewhere you got stuck while trying things on your dummy account or you tried the GCP and there were questions with no confusion. Anything at all, uh, please let me know. We can discuss them now before we get to the further topics. So I'll wait for a couple of minutes if you have any such questions. Could even be that you have a question and I don't have answer to it right away, which is fine because no one can claim to have answers to all questions, right? But if you ask it, you can note it down and either by the end of this session or definitely by next week, I will find the answer to it and do it. Please keep your questions. I'll wait for a minute. If no questions come in, and we will start that. Good. I forgot to close the ESPN before tab. Unfortunately, 5 minutes ago when I checked, it was 4 wickets. Now when I checked just before closing it, it was 6 wickets. So most probably by the time we finish the session for today, we will have hold out. Okay. One of us is saying that he doesn't have any doubt because it's not standard practicing, which is fine. I do understand that time is costing hard commodity to get. Uh, but yeah, as long as you have the intent, I'm sure that you will somehow find it. Right? And if nothing else, just think of the check you wrote in the name of one car, right? So if you remember that we have spent money, it might trigger you to find an extra time. Right? So at least I'm glad that someone is paying, because that it means that you do intend to start practicing at some point of time. Right? Okay, so no doubts. Maybe because as one of you said, you haven't started practicing, or because uh, you practice then you are good and expert. So it's good. Okay, so campaign experiment. As always, I'll be spending more time on the interface than on the slides. The problem is to. Uh, so some fluctuations in the audio sorry. Hope it is better now. Yeah. So campaign experiment is nothing very difficult to understand. The logic or objective of using instruments is very simple, as I just said a few minutes ago. What is important is where we to know where it can be done on the site, I mean on the account, and the how part. Right? The what is it part is very straightforward in terms of experiment. So let's look at the how part. I'll take you to my account and share it. By now, at least I'm thinking that the adverse interface is nothing new or nothing like a strange thing to you anymore. And at least, hope you have gotten used to the interface is nothing else, right? And like we have gotten used to the Gmail page or the Google search page or the Facebook page or the WhatsApp, what do you call interface. So I hope you have gotten used to the adverse interface at least, right? If not, please get used to it. So, share my screen. Okay. Let me know when the screen is up. Yeah, I can do this. So I'm on the campaign tab, right? Like campaign tab is one of those 5 tabs that you see when you are on the account view. And yeah, I think I had mentioned about this where this tab is located. Right? Just before the report time tab, you have a tab which reads drafts. So the drop down says create new view all. Right? So today, while rehearsing for today's session, I created a dummy graph. Maybe rather than looking at it, let's create a new graph afresh, right? So if we do it together, you'll get a good idea of how to do it and that, right? So before that, just again confirming, all of you understood what are experiments for? If not, please let me know. What are draft campaigns and experiments for? You got an idea? Yes, no, don't care, whatever. Some some response, little bit. Okay. Okay, let me put it this way. Do I need to once again explain? Okay, this is one of the answers. Okay. So got it. Okay. So the response I'm getting is we did understood a little bit, but when we do it in practice, it will be more clear. But it is also good if we can recap, right? That's the response I got from whoever cared to respond back. So anyway, we'll take a minute or two to a quick recap. So think about this, right? Uh, you are running the account, right? And you regularly look at the keywords report, you regularly look at the bid simulator, right? And you also know that there are some ads you can some kind of ad, new ad text you can uh, try out, right? So these are and the opportunities tab again, which we'll be seeing today. The opportunities tab is the distinct things, right? Your AdWords executive whom you have recruited recently is the distinct things, right? So there are a lot of things you think can be done on the account, a lot of changes and things can be made on the account, right? So it's a very possible scenario, right? I mean, not only in AdWords, in any business or anything, there's the things you think are good, but you're not sure, right? You think it's good, but you're not sure. So what do you do? You try it on an experiment basis. Right? There is a new batsman who has been doing wonderfully well in first class cricket. So you think he may be a good fit for the India jersey, but you're not sure. What do you do? Give him a chance, right? Play him in one of the tournaments or series. See how he is, right? How he performs, right? If he performs well, what do you do? Pull him into the permanent playing 11. If he doesn't, throw him out, right? That's what you do. Same with anything. Uh, Another example could be, yeah, like what I do with my net connection. But I do have a broadband connection, but I also want to have a backup connections, but I don't know which dongle is best to use. Right? So what do? I get a dongle, and if I use the internet for 10 hours a day, for 2 hours I use a dongle, right? And I see how is it working, right? If it is working well, maybe as a first step I increase, maybe I start using it for 5 hours. If it is very good, I continue using it. If it is not good, I stop using it, right? This is how we do experiments day in and day out in all our daily activities, right? Likewise in AdWords, when you think there are things which will make sense, but you're not sure, the way out is the graph experiment, right? Like I said, I use the dongle for 2 hours a day. I think what I'm doing is for 20% of the time, I'm giving that the dongle a chance, right? Yes, experiment graphs are ways to check changes in AdWords time. Right, you have summarized it, right? So, like I said, 20% of the time I use the dongle. I can create experiments. I can create graph campaigns and experiment them for a particular percentage of my option or a particular percentage of my budget. Right? So my campaign budget is say 500 rupees a day. I create some drafts and put them on experiment, which means that, and I can select the percentage. So if I say 20%, which means that out of 500 rupees, 100 rupees will be spent or invested on those experiments. And after a week, I can check the performance of the experiment compared to the actual time based on the age. Right? I can either increase the percentage from 20 to whatever, maybe decrease the percentage, roll it back completely, or apply it. Right? So now let's see how do we do it. Right? This is that tab. Those of you who have the accounts in front, please go to the campaigns tab, and you will see the tab drop down. And let's start with the creating, right? And this image actually tries to explain how it works. You create a draft campaign on the image of an original campaign, right? So, which means that I have one campaign which has 5 ad groups. Each ad group has say 50 keywords and 4 or 5 ads each. That is my campaign. So when I create a draft campaign, it's not like I create a new campaign altogether. I create a draft image of an original campaign, and whatever changes I want to do, whatever changes I want to experiment, I make on the draft, right? Draft demo. But I name it draft demo, right? And I am on the campaign named search campaign. So, which means that when I create the draft demo, it will be created on the image of the search campaign, right? The original search campaign. It also that information is also given, right? So now what you see is the draft image of my campaign named search. It's exactly that same. On this, I just have to apply the changes which the opportunity staff told me, or which my AdWords executive told me, or which my analysis of my keyword report I inferred from, right? Whatever it is. Say for example, there are some keywords which I think are good, but not sure, right? So I go to the tab, I go keyword, just like I do in my actual campaign. I just go to keyword, I take a keyword, same way, right? It asks me which ad group, and I add the keywords, right? When I add the keywords, I can either come ready with, say, for example, when I set the AdWords executive whom I have recruited, maybe she gave me a list of 100 keywords, right? So I can either directly paste those keywords here. That is one thing, or I can go to the keyword planner, which we all have seen, and get suggestions from there and import them here. Or in fact, since this business, my AdWords account is into the business of home decor, right? It is the Kundan Rangoli, which is homemade and delivered to where it is. So from that category, the adverts itself suggests keywords, right? So I can kind of just add those keywords, right? As I'm doing, right? Or I can take keywords from my list and paste them. Whatever, there are different ways, right? It's the same as adding keywords to your real account, right? So now what I've done is remember these keywords, right? Home decor, uh, affordable home decor, inexpensive home decor, decorating home decor, right? Just remember these three keywords, right? Affordable, inexpensive, decorating your homes, right? I say safe, right? Now where am I? I'm still in the draft campaign and I see these new keywords, right? If I go to my original campaign, do you think I'll be able to see these keywords? What do you think? No? No? Finally I started getting answers. Okay, let's see. No? So then the question, where do I see it? How do I get to see it? Right? If I don't see it here, how do I see it? The answer is whatever draft you have created, there is this all drafts tab in the left. I just go there, you see whatever. So this is what I created today, the morning while I was reversing for the session. This is what we created now. Just go there, you'll get to that demo, right? There, what we did was we just created it. We made the changes, but we didn't take any action. Right? The action is here. The possible actions you can do after creating a draft is, of course, you can just leave it at that. If your objective was to share it and let someone else see, right? Like for example, you made those suggested changes and you wanted someone to check through it, right? In that case, of course, you won't do anything. You won't apply it. You just tell that person to access the account and mention the name of your draft to him. So what he will do is, once again, let me do that, right? What he'll do is, he will go to the account, go to the campaign tab on the left, he'll click on the all drafts, so list of drafts will come, and you have given him the name, so he'll go click on that particular name, and then he'll whatever the settings, what are the ads in that, what are the keywords in that, right? Whatever. He'll just go through the draft, right? Now, after that, when it's time to take action, you click the apply button. You'll have two options. One, if you're sure about it, right? If you're sure that, okay, we don't have to run an experiment, these are all good things, we are sure that we'll fetch results, you just say update your original. The moment you say update your original, all these changes, which in this case were those three keywords that we added, right? Of course, see, these are, since I'm doing a demo, I'm just taking three keywords and simple things like this. In actuality, it will be, you would have gotten a list of 150 keywords from the keyword planner. So it could be the demo campaign will have some 150 keywords, right? Or maybe it will have changes to 50 of the existing keywords. Then big changes, which means that the original keyword or original campaign has a particular bit for these 50 keywords. In the draft campaign, you have changed the bits for these 50 keywords, right? It could be that. It could be that there are some 50 new ads that you add, right? So, in any case, why I said this was the use of demo or not demo, the use of graph for experiment is not restricted to just adding 2 or 3 keywords. It's like pretty much anything you do on the campaign can be done on the experiment, right? So either apply it or you can run an experiment, right? If you say run an experiment, apply, what will be the first question AdWords will ask you? When I say run an experiment, just think and I gave examples today. let's try to figure out what will be AdWords question when you say, when you make some changes and tell AdWords to run those as experiments. Just think of a minute and all of you got the question? Okay, I got started giving responses. Okay, let's go through the responses. Okay, budget. I think what you mean is the percentage budget, right? Which is correct. Otherwise, the experiment campaign doesn't have a budget of its own, right? It is just latch on to the budget of the original campaign. Yeah, the right way of putting it is what percent of amount you want to experiment. Bingo, thanks a lot, right? Because when you say I'm going to experiment this, of course, there is a question. As I said, I will use the dongle 2 hours a day, which is 20% of the total 10 hours. So that will be one question. One thing we need to decide: what percent of the budget amount, the campaign actual budget, would you allocate for these experiments? And yes, definitely the duration. How long do you want to run the experiment? What will be the daily bid and budget? Again, so daily bid and budget is something which the experiment doesn't have of its own. It is just a percent of the original campaign. Bid again, you're asking what will be the bid for those keywords that we created. It's exactly what we did when we added those keywords. Right? If you remember, when we added those 3 keywords, we didn't change the bid, which means that what's the next level of bid? Right? If you don't mention bid at a keyword level, what's the next level? I do have a couple more points, but let's finish one by one. Yeah, ma'am, it is the original budget, part of the original budget. So budget I think is clear. I'm asking about bid, right? One of the responses is also what will be the bid, right? So what I'm asking is the yes. Okay, what I was asking was one of the responses was what would be the bid, right? So I said bid is not decided when we apply the experiment, rather it is decided when we create the demo, create the draft, create the system. So when we created this particular experiment, we added 3 keywords, right? But did we give any bid to those keywords? If you remember, we added those 3 keywords for the expensive and decor for home. We didn't. So I'm just asking a question which is kind of a revision. Then we don't give a bid as a keyword. I already got to answer, but I'm again repeating for all of us. The question is, if we create, we add keyword and do not specify a bid at a keyword level, what will AdWords select as the bid for that keyword? Two answers already, waiting for more. Thank you. It's very basic. The reason I keep asking these questions from earlier sessions is just to ensure that those basics are clear, right? If you don't if you don't mention bid at the keyword level, where will it pick the bid from? Let's do this. Let's go to the campaign and show. Right? And cancel this for now. Go to keywords. Of course, this will show all the keywords. Yeah, I have This is one of it has reordered the keywords, so I don't see all those three new keywords in the same order, but I do have them all here. One is an expensive home decor, one is affordable home decor, one is decorating your home. Correct? Just look at this share and then tell me uh, these keywords when they were created, they we didn't mention a bit, right? The question is, how will they be beat out? On what amount will they be beat out? Okay, just tell me, looking at the share, what is the max CPC for that keyword? An expensive home decor. What is the max CPC? Just tell me that, and I'll kind of drive you into getting the answer. You're able to see the screen, right? Okay. How do you say this 50? Ma'am, it's not 50, just look at the number once again. Ha, 50,000, right? Of course, I know 50,000 is a very unearthly number because no one will get bids of 50,000, so just that because it's a company form is that number. But anyway, yeah, glad you all picked it up. Inexpensive home decor, the bid is 50,000. Tell me what is the bid for Torrent trace match? The keyword just above that. 20. Now tell me what difference do you see in the way the $20 bid for Torrent face match is mentioned and the $50,000 bid for inexpensive home decor dot match is mentioned. Do you see any difference in the way they have been displayed? Any difference in the way they have been displayed? I mean, that's fine. If impressions is zero because it's not being run live. I'm specifically asking about the max efficiency column when you read those numbers from, right? You saw $20 for Torrent, you saw $50,000 for, I mean, sorry, rupees for inexpensive home decor. I'm just asking, I hope that the screen share has the right color combination and the right format. Ha, fine. 50,000 is on disable. There's a difference in the way they appear. Yes. Why? Right? Okay. The two of you who answered the previous question, of course, you know the reason for this also. I'm just asking for the list of the others. You got the difference, right? The 50,000 bid mentioned against inexpensive home decor is not active, right? It's like a grayed out number. But for Torrent, it is a dark black clear 20 rupees. Got that? Now think why. Of course, everything is editable, right? I can click on it and change the number. Why you think the $20, 20 rupees for Torrent is an active, let's call it active and passive display, so for lack of better words. Why is the 20 rupee in active mode? Why is an expensive home decor in 50 or passive mode? And I know this is from a very earlier session I'm taking and digressing from today's topic, but there's a reason I'm doing it because our max bid does not match the auto. No, that's not the reason. We're talking about the estimated bid. Estimated bids are just estimations, which I don't think. But I'm glad you're trying to figure out answers, but it's not this particular one. Okay, it is not about experiment campaign or live campaign. Good thinking, but that's not what. It's not because it is experiment, because the other one is live. It is a more basic question. And that reason links back to my original question of if you don't specify a bid for a keyword, what bid will it take? And trying to drive you into that answer through this sub question of why there is a difference in the way. If that AdWords just doesn't like the keyword and it gave them uh, a passive display, it's because the bids are mentioned at different level of yes. Yes. Let me not read it completely because if I read it completely, we spoil the fun for the others. So let's wait a minute more, half a minute more, and then I'll get to this. Just think these two questions in parallel. One is, if you don't bid at a keyword level, what bid will that keyword take? Two, in the list that you see, why do you see some keywords are grayed out, the bids are grayed out, but for others, you see a solid dark bid amount of it. Think through these two questions in 30 seconds, you'll get the answer. If not, nothing to worry about. But please do the thinking. Automatic bidding strategy, it's kind of close, but no, not that. I like the thinking, right? But not for the answer. My clock says 10:48. I give it 10:49. Again, nothing to get demoralized on. Just recently, we are doing some questions in between just so that we get the earlier topics more clear. Right? So, I'm not asking these questions to make you feel that you don't even know this. No, that's not the intention. Please don't think like that. Then it's of P9 and I will do Maxi PCB. Yeah, it is Maxi PCB. That's what it is called. It's the same column. So for both it is a Maxi PCB. Okay, it's 10:49. Yeah. Remember when we created the campaign, even at the campaign, okay, you're saying plus 30%. That is different. Plus 30% of your Maxi PCB base, you're talking about the enhanced CPC feature, EPC. Right? That is again different. The answer is bid is something which can be set at a campaign level or at an ad group level or at a keyword level, which means that if you set a bid at a campaign level, all the ad groups in that campaign will default to that position, right? Before that, tell me this: at what level is the bid used? Right? The bid is used or bid is applied at a keyword level always, because when the auction happens, it is not the campaign that runs into the auction or the ad group that runs into the auction. It is actually the keyword that competes in the auction, right? And of course, the associated ad, right? So when a keyword gets into the auction, it has to measure the ad rank. The ad rank is the product of quality score and bid, we saw last week, and that's when the bid. So apply happens because of the keyword level, but setting up a bid, you can do it if you, like for example, if you're just creating a campaign, right? You don't know how individual ad groups are going to perform vis-a-vis each other, right? So you start it as an equal opportunity campaign. You just set a bid at a campaign level, which means that all 5 groups will have the same weight, right? Which means that all keywords in each of those groups will have the same weight, right? That means the keyword doesn't have a bit of its own and is defaulting to the next level or the next level, right? So in this case, when we created these three categories, not created, when we added these three keywords, we didn't mention a bit. So what does AdWords do? It goes to the immediate next step, which is ad group. And that particular ad group had a default bid of 50,000 rupees. Right? But if that ad group also didn't have its own bid, it will default to the next level, which is the ad group. So how it evolves is, for example, you create a campaign, you create a budget, set a bid, create the ad groups. You don't know which ad group will do well, which ad group will face more competition. So you set a campaign level default, right? And say, let's look at one of those ad groups. It has 10 keywords. You don't know, actually it will be more than 10. So let's say it has 100 keywords, right? You don't know how these 100 keywords are going to perform vis-a-vis each other, how good is each, how bad is each, how competitive is each. So you don't mention any bid for these keywords. You default them to the ad group level, right? Say for example, which is 100 each, right? All the 100 keywords, each of them will have a bid of. So run the campaign for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you have a wealth of data, right? You have a keyword report. From the keyword report, you will get to know the actual CPC, which each keyword was taken, right? You remember the last week's discussion, right? Why the average CPC is less than maximum. Right? So you see that there are some keywords where the cost was 20 rupees, 25 rupees, and the average position was different. What does it mean? Though you bid that keyword at 100 rupees, the actual cost you have to compete with was 20 rupees. So unnecessarily you are just making the number look high, so you don't want to do that. So you reduce. There's another. So okay, before we wanted to reduce it, right? Another possibility. There are some keywords which are doing really well. Right? When I say a keyword is doing really well, what does it mean? It has a good CTR. Most of the time when the keyword showed an ad, it was clicked on. It had a good conversion rate, which means most of the time the ad for this keyword was clicked on, you got a conversion, right? So these are the things which say the keyword is doing really well, right? And you also see that the average position of that keyword is say 2 or 3. What does that mean? Despite being shown at the third ad in the page, this keyword is doing well. What could that probably mean? All of you with me? The scenario I am explaining. There are 100 keywords started without individual bits, so all of them defaulted to the next level, which is ad group. All of them defaulted to the ad group level bit of say 100 rupees. And after 2 weeks, when you have real data, you pull it and see that there are some keywords which are performing really well, despite having a poor ad position, average position. So what do you do to those keywords? These are real scenarios, right? I mean, I'm throwing these real scenarios so that you can apply them when you actually start running accounts of your own. Right? The question is, from the keyword report, you filtered out 5 keywords which have a good performance in terms of high CTR and high conversion rate, but their average position is below second or third position. So what do you do? Would you think that from the second or third position of this keyword is doing so well, if it actually is at the top position, it can be expected to do even better? Increase, yes, that's what I was looking at. Yes, right? You will definitely want to increase the bid because it's a good keyword, right? Like you will increase the price money for a good player, right? You will increase, you will bid higher for that player, right? So likewise, you will increase the bid for that keyword. Okay, so for keywords, you wanted to increase the bid. Now, there are some more keywords which have a relatively decent position but have a very poor CTR, right? What does that mean? They are incurring impressions, but possibly because the ads are not very relevant, they are not getting enough clicks. So what is happening? Poor CTR is happening, and because of poor CTR, your quality score is getting impacted. Or even the other thing, the next step possible is that these keywords are getting a lot of clicks, but no action on the site. What does that mean? And maybe your objective was conversion. Right? Yes. So that means these keywords are clearly underperforming and guzzling your money. So of course, one option is to pause those keywords, yes. But for the borderline cases, if you think are like you can't, like for example, if it is your brand keyword, you just can't pause the brand keyword, right? So what you can do is you may decide to spend less on those keywords, right? So what do? You have decided that those 4 keywords which are doing well, you decided to increase the bid. These 10 keywords which are not doing well, you decided to reduce them. And maybe there are other 10 keywords which are doing terribly bad, and you decided to pause them. Right now, I'm talking about this. Right? So based on the keyword, I'm just giving you examples to tell you base and means we can get to these suggested actions. Right? So now the next point. You have decided this is the ad group. The ad group has a default bid of 100 rupees. But from that ad group, from the 100 keywords, there were 4 keywords for whom you wanted to increase the bid. There were other 10 keywords for which you wanted to decrease the bid. Right? It is at this point that keyword level bidding comes into the picture. So what you do, okay, but if you are getting good impression and questions and not clicks, that means it's not exposed to the right audience. That is fine. That is another way of looking at it. But then in search, how do you define audience? Right? In search, the main aspect of targeting is the keyword itself. So how the keyword matches with the search term. And in this scenario, what is happening is keyword is matching with the search term, but not being clicked. Then you have problem with the keyword. Of course, there are other dimensions which you will look at. If you feel that these keywords are having a poor CTR only during weekends, right, or only during 9 to 5, you can look at those cuts of data. Then you may think that okay, the problem is not possibly with the keyword; it is with the scheduling, right? Or you may feel that these keywords are always getting impressions on mobile phones, and that's why the people is less. So then maybe the issue is with the device targeting. Right? Those are different cuts you will look at, of course. But yeah, if you figure out the keyword itself has an issue, then bid is your answer. Right? And so when you figure out there are the keywords in an ad group have to be treated differently, that is when you have to move away from the ad group level bid. So in this case, next step is home the car. Assume that we run this for 2 weeks and I figure out that 50,000 is too high for it. And I figure out that only $10, 10 rupees is what this keyword is worth. So what I do, I go here, I change 10. Then now tell me when I click save, okay, I have a question here, I'll get to it in a minute. Yeah, I have changed the bid for this keyword to 10. Now tell me when I click save, will the 10 appear in solid black or will it appear in passive grayed out color? Right? I'm saying I figured out this. Yeah, of course, black, right? Solid black, because now it is not anymore uh, at group level default bit. It is a keyword level bit. Got the difference? Clear with the level of bits, campaign level, at group level, keyword level, right? Okay. Now, of course, you won't be. It might not be possible to change the bid for every individual keyword like this, right? So of course there are ways of bulk updation, like you can just select the keywords and change all of them, or there are ways you can uh, change the percentage of keywords, right? Or of course, you can go to AdWords editor, you can see today and make the change. Like for example, there are 100 keywords for which you have to change the bid. You cannot go to each of those 100 keywords and type in under the max control, right? So those are other ways of bulk terms. Now, just one more thing. The way I explain the evolution of bidding from a campaign level to the ad group level to the keyword level, it doesn't mean it has always to be like that, right? What was right at the beginning, right? Because the keyword planner text gives me suggested bid, right? So right at the beginning itself, I know that I can't have the same bid for all the 100 keywords. Right? In that case, of course, you don't have to start with the default bid. You can write in the beginning, give all the keywords their individual bids. So all of the bids will be in solid black, right? Only in cases where you don't know what should be the specific bid for a keyword, you just leave it at the next level. Clear? Okay, I'll have one more question and then move to this question which I got on chat. So you're clear about the level at which bidding happens, right? Please, one of you can say yes or no. Next. Yes. Now the next question: at what level does budgeting happen? At what level do you set the budget? When I say levels, account is a level, campaign is the next level, ad groups is the next level, keywords is the next level. My question is, at what level is the budget set? And I have already gotten the correct answer. Thank you a million. But yeah, waiting for the others. Do keywords have budgets? Yeah, keywords don't have budget. Actually, ad groups also don't have budget. Budgets are always set at a campaign, right? So it's also important to know these levels. At an account level, right? There are two things which we set at an account level: the currency, of course, the other things like billing, active, all those things, and the currency and the time zone. Right? You can't have two campaigns in one account, one which will be paid in Indian rupee and the other which will be paid in say Pakistani rupees. No. Right? Currency and time zone are set in an account level. Budget and targeting is set at a campaign level. Right? Bids can be at a campaign level or at an ad group level or at a keyword level. Right? Okay. Now the question I got here is slang words. Yeah. Okay. The slang words can also be a part of the keywords. Yes. If you think, like for example, you sell merchandising for one of the basketball clubs in the US, right? Or one of the football clubs in Europe, right? The English Premier League or the Spanish league, whatever, right? So there, maybe there are slang words with which people may refer to some of the clubs, some of the players, some of the matches. If you think it's going to make sense, if you think your audience will search such terms, you can add them as keywords. Right? So that is the question. I hope I answered the question. Right? Okay. Now, where did I digress from? Okay, I was at experiment. Okay, yeah. So this is where we move from, right? And when we reached here, I asked, what will be the next question? And I got correct answers that it will ask you the percentage, it will ask you till when, right? Of course, name, okay, name for the experiment, and okay, let me call it. Start date is today. I can of course change it to another day. I can schedule it to start on another day, say 27, and I can either specify an end date, which can be any date, or I can say no end date, just one, right? And of course, the percentage of my overall options which will go on this. I do all these. You can only run one experiment at a time. Okay. I have the other experiment running. So what I do is I change for what end date I specified for that. Okay, let me go there and remove the other experiment. Okay, the end date is December 20th. Yeah, ending it so that I can finish. Now I can go to my draft, the demo draft, apply, draft, start today and then December 20. Got it? This was the draft which was having the experiment earlier, which I just ended. So that's why the status is finished. Because in one campaign, anytime you can have only one, right? Of course, it doesn't mean that you can experiment only with new keywords. No. You can make whatever changes you want, you can make on that experiment itself, right? Only thing we cannot create a fresh experiment. Got it? So now that this experiment has been set to start, or maybe it is to create it. Yeah, in the search campaign, the experiment is running, so I can view it. Earlier, when we checked in that campaign, we were not able to see the experiment running because it had not been set at that particular point of time. But now that the experiment is set, if I say view here, I'll be able to see those new keywords. Right? It's expensive from the cost, $10, 10 rupees. Decorating your home, 2,000 rupees default, and yeah, affordable. Got it? Got an understanding how experiments work, how the demo works, not the demo, the draft works. Okay, I got one yes. I'll wait for a couple more, and we can move to the next one. Yes, yes, one more, because this is the only way I can ensure myself that I am not talking to a wall. So please either type in a yes or type in say no, your explanation is terribly bad, so we don't understand. That's also fine. Okay, I've got into yes. Cool. I'll move to the next topic. Just a little bit, rest maybe up. Yes, definitely, of course, because when we explain, we will get to understand an overview. It will be more clear when you actually start doing it. Okay. I don't know if there is something new in the slides which we didn't cover. Let me just check it. The changes, new keywords, and there are certain things which cannot be run as a part of the experiment. You can see it here. Just that you cannot have a campaign budget on experiment, or of course these are the regular things. Yeah, things at a campaign level you cannot experiment. Like you can't change the targeting, you can't change the budget. Right? You can't have a campaign to have a budget of 50 rupees. find a routine and say that run this experiment on 50%. No, because the experiment percentage itself is on the percent of the budget, right? You can't have negative keywords at an ad group level. You can, but not at the campaign level. And as of now, not ad extensions. Clear about that? Of course, you don't have to by heart this. You just need to know that there are certain things which cannot be experimented. And now that you know where you get to see it, you can always refer back to the slide and figure it out. Right? Yeah, earlier it was under the advanced settings. It was a little more difficult to create experiment. That's the screenshot that you see in the deck. But now, of course, it is much simpler. On the campaign tab, you remember near the time drop down, you get to see the draft drop down. You have to go there and right. Clear about experiments? Okay. The next topic is opportunity, right? So opportunity tab. Can anyone say where the opportunity tab is? I would have told it a lot of times. Okay, that's a question. No, if you have questions, you can just okay. In the exam, it will be the new thing. As I said last week when I took one of the exams, there were a few questions from the earlier versions, which means that AdWords, Google itself at times doesn't update things, which is fine. So okay, there are three possibilities, right? One is that the question is completely from a new topic. One is that the question is completely from an old topic. One is where you have a clash, right? You have a question and there are two answer options. One is based on the new and one is based on the old, right? The first two cases, there is no cause of clash, right? If it is completely based on an old version, the answer will also be based on old. Completely based on new, answer will also be based on new. The third possibility is a very, very, very rare possibility. And if at all it comes, answer it based on the latest. And I don't remember having seen any question when I tried the test last week, which will come under that category, right? It will come under the category of the question is generic, but there are answers, one contradicting the other. One will say the new update is correct, one will say the old update is correct. I didn't find any. If at all is fine, go with the latest. Right? Okay. Opportunities tab. Right? Okay, so for the video, there is the AdWords. AdWords has a YouTube channel. Right? So they keep publishing videos about features and approaches. So there is a video on the opportunities tab as well. So I don't want to spend time playing the video here because that's something which we always do. So I'm just saying in the video how they have tried to introduce opportunities tab is like a executive assistant. Right? You are the head of marketing, right? So Monday morning you're getting to the office and someone has kept ready certain things after hours of painstaking effort, and being the manager, of course, it's a very big discussion among individual contributors in any company that once you are a manager you don't have any work to do, right? So yeah, so as a manager you just have to go through the changes and take a decision on whether to apply or not, right? So opportunity staff, they compare it or they kind of explain it as that executive assistant who has done assessment, done the analysis, and is suggesting you, okay, maybe you can do these changes, you can change these bits, you can change the keywords, you can create these new ads, right? That is what opportunity staff is, right? Anyone able to remember where the opportunity tab is? The campaign tab, there are 5 tabs. Campaign view, yeah. Really glad I got the answer. It's one of the 5 top tabs. Right? Click on it, it will give you options. what kind of opportunities? Is actually you can divide them under three categories. Right, one is of course fixed and budget. One is of course whatever you can do at what you call a keyword level, in the sense keyword or ad level, so to say, and of course at a higher level of budgeting, bids and budgeting, right? So opportunities that will tell you suggestions at a keyword level, right? What can be suggestions at the keyword level? Adding keywords, pausing keywords, changing match type, removing keywords, negative phrase, broad match, exact, all those things. Tells you about suggested changes in at ads or ad group level, like create new ads, pause an ad, change the ad location, this kind of thing, or the whatever money aspect, which is bids or budget, right? So examples of have you? No, I haven't shared it. Just because in my dummy account you won't see any opportunity because opportunity tab gives opportunities based on the data, right? Data, but of course I'll take you there and click on the opportunities tab and show it. And the thing is I won't have any opportunities to show. That's why I'm saying it's very easy to understand, right? What are the different things? What are the different changes you can do, right? Either you can make changes to the ad, or you can make changes to the keyword. When I say keyword, add, pause, delete, change match type, all this, or you can make changes to bids and budgets. So these three things that the opportunity standard do. Suggest action to provide your account. Ads and ad group, keyword targeting on each, bids and budgets. Right? And the slide just mentioned what are the different opportunities. Of course, there's nothing new here. There's anything that you can do at these levels, right? I will just complete this screen and then. Right? Ads and ad group. What are the things you can do? You can create longer headlines. You can add more ads. You can use extensions. You can break the keywords into more ad groups, right? Ad rotation. These are the things you can do as an ad group or an ad group. Right? Keywords, of course, bidding is one thing you can do at a keyword level, but opportunity tab puts bidding under a different bucket. So the other things that can be done at the keyword level, right? Adding keyword, negative keyword, changing match type, partnering, targeting search partner websites, right? In fact, the last two which you see under keywords are actually not options anymore because mobile ads are a default mobile landing page to certify. We have to have it. Right? Third one is bids and budgets. Increase budget, reduce budget, change ad delivery. What is ad delivery? If you remember, so you should not clear. What are the two types of ad delivery options you have? Oh my gosh. What are the two types of ad delivery methods you have? Search and display are campaign types, not ad delivery methods. Do you remember the example of the son and daughter? Standard and accelerated, right? You can maybe opportunity tab will say that this campaign is set at a accelerated delivery mode, but maybe you should set it at a standard delivery mode, right? Why would it say that? Maybe because it notices that every day by afternoon your campaign runs out of budget, so you're missing out on the options that happen in the second half of the day. Right? That is one example. Changing the bid, increase, decrease, use estimated top of the page, use estimated first page bid, right? It's pretty much anything, any kind of change you will feel like doing based on your performance reports, suggested by the opportunity. Got that? On the account, of course, as one of the very correctly answered, you just have to one of the 5 tabs at the top. Click on this, and bingo, you get a lot of options. Of course, in my case, you won't, right? Because my ads are not running. If you have a actual account, you will get to see. Now, on this note, it doesn't mean that applying the opportunity suggested by the tab is going to set everything right for your account. No, those are just suggestions. Like everything else in AdWords, you have to try it, right? So one option is, okay, accept the opportunities, run them, check them for a week or 2, and then look at the actual. There is a difference, right? There is a difference between an opportunity and it's actually performing when put on the ground. Right? Run them for 2 weeks. See if you don't see they are not doing well. Of course, you cannot sue Google for that. All you can do, you can roll them back. If they are doing well, you can thank the trainer who taught you about opportunity step and apply the plan. Right? What is the other thing? Other thing you can do, you get to see some opportunities. You think they are good, but you are not sure. What is the other thing you can do other than setting them live for 2 weeks and checking your short-term memory? Experiments, right? So so there are different things which we look at, and when we actually work on a campaign, we have to tie them together, right? You get opportunities, then you know, okay, if I'm not sure about running them right, what I can do. You can actually run them right. Got it? Yeah, I mean, I don't have to go through these points. What you do based on the opportunities and how we can, right? Why you may not see, of course, you already saw a live example of that. Billing information missing, campaign has not been created, no traffic. This is the reason for my dummy account not showing opportunities in this server, right? The ads have just started and it doesn't have any data. Right? According to Google, the campaign is already optimized, right? But do not waste your money, right? That can also be the reason why opportunities are not there. Maybe Google thinks that your account is running wonderfully well, nothing more to change. Got it? And now a personal piece from my personal experience. I'm not a very big, it's just my personal experience, doesn't mean it won't work for your account, but yeah. As such, I'm not a very big fan of opportunity because I feel the right mix can be reached only by really working with it, right? So, because I believe that I know more about my account than the AdWords backend, right? So don't look at opportunity tab as an alternative to the hard work. Right? We still have to look through keyword performances. We still have to look through ad group or campaign level performances. We still have to look through ad performances. We still have to look at bid simulator. We still have to run accounts, experiments, right? Maybe opportunity tab with this assist. Okay, with me on that. Yes, this was a quick topic, so we all are good. We can go to the next step. Don't ask for a break. It's too early to take a break. However, at this point, I do have a hunch that we might finish a little earlier than the stipulated time. If so, we can definitely use the extra time to discuss scenario, questions, or general types. Right? All good with opportunities tab? Yeah, of course. Okay. Good. One second. Hold on. I have a long question is reading it. Okay, so more cases it is like the Google ad policy. Okay, let's read out the question for others. I have a one-person question. Is there any council or authority who keep on evaluating ad standard or materials? Like to see if our ads are fine with the policies, but not with local authorities of the nation. Okay, so actually, I don't know if there is a central or a government authority which looks at Google Ads, but yes, there would be, but not to worry because the Google policies, the ad policies, they keep updating them in line with the local authorities rules, right? So as long as you stick to the Google ad policies, you're good. Right? I mean, there would be, like, there would be like authorities, yeah, I mean, there would be the cyber cell, or if nothing else, if I see there is an ad which is not, when I feel it's not good, I can anytime file a PIL and move forward. Right? So those things, of course, will be there, but uh, and yes, as you suggested, since our cyber laws are not as fine tuned as that of certain other countries, the laws Google would put in would be stronger than the local laws. Right? So as long as you are good with the Google policy, it should be good. Okay, it's good. Completed the adversarial setup. Okay. What are APIs? Anybody? APIs. You've heard of. Maybe necessarily we do with that words. Yeah, have you heard API? API, yes, no, don't care, don't bother me. I'm on a Sunday. Any answer? Okay. Yes. Execution programs. Okay. Any other? It is the I think application program or programming interface. Right? It's actually nothing but a set of tools which would let you make changes, like which would rather make changes on your behalf, right? It can be used in any online business, maybe AdWords itself, right? Like for example, you can even use API for your website, for your webmaster, right? So likewise, AdWords also has an API. So, but before we get into this, just what we call a process. We don't need to know coding or languages to run AdWords, right? But API is something for which we need to know languages, which we need for which we need to have coding experience. So, if at all you're going to use API, and if you don't, if you are not a programmer yourself, all you need to or can do is to have someone handle it on you, right? So I have created an API account for someone, but I'm not a programmer, so I haven't run it. But of course, as an AdWords person, I explain what I want the API to do for my account to the person who managed, right? So, and from an AdWords point of view, that's all you need to do, right? You need to understand that AdWords has an API. You need to understand where to what we call create your API account for your AdWords and how to explain your requirement to the API person. Got it? And even the help center article itself clearly mentions that APIs are something which needs programming knowledge. So if you don't have, please don't get it. Right? Please let someone else do it on your behalf. Right? So yeah, and these and of course if we have an account which is going to have 4 campaigns with say 4 ad groups each, and so that means 16 ad groups with about 100 keywords each. For an account like that, we don't need it either API, right? API is when you have, like for example, Amazon will be having definitely having an API, right? They'll have programmers and coders working on it. Right? Yeah, questions on API in the Google exam. Of course, it's not going to ask you to write a line of code to get the API do this, or so I want to ask you questions about the language it uses. Of course, it will ask if it might, I don't remember, but yeah, maybe it will ask questions on what can API do for you, the AdWords account, or how do you get an API set up, those kind of things. Again, from a AdWords user point of view, you'll ask, but not from a programmer point of view. Right? So, neck on neck, API is nothing but programming interface which will talk to your AdWords account, and you can even link it to your other aspects of your business. For example, you can link it to your say webmaster, right? So that AdWords changes things based on the changes in your website, right? Or if you are a physical product, you are selling a physical product, you can link it to your inventory. That when a particular set of product category runs out of inventory, the related ad groups in the AdWords can be paused. Okay? Okay, these are the kind of examples I'm talking about that the API can do. Another thing is API can write lines of code to ensure that any keyword which incurs more than a particular amount of money response or reduce in bid. And those kind of intricate rules, which again, as I said, are not required for small and medium-sized accounts. It is required and important only where you have such huge campaigns and ad groups and lists of tens of thousands of keywords, which is not possible to be managed manually. Right? Of course, for that we need a manager account. The last topic of the day is manager account, so we'll get to that at that time. Yeah, these are some of the use cases. Generate keywords, add text, customize reports, and landing pages. Right? Integrate inventory systems to manage campaigns based on stock availability. Develop other aligned tools. Right? And the last point is very important, requires technical know-how and programming. Let me be clear at the beginning, I don't have either. So I know API only from an average point of view. That is what is expected uh, from an average point of view, based on the Google Web Center and as you asked, based on the Google exam scores. Right? So yeah, I mean there are some slides on the programming language it uses, and yeah, okay, this is how it looks, right? Those of you who are very curious about programming and not done anything yet, I am one of them. This is how it looks. Java, snippet of Java code. In dummy account, if it is an individual account, you cannot, right? API can be created only at the manager account level, right? Manager account, what is? I'll explain. So, I mean, I have a manager account. That's the last topic. So, doesn't matter if it's dummy or real, but what matters is whether it is an individual AdWords account or a dummy account. I mean, or a manager account, right? Exactly. You are accessing multiple accounts. That is why you need a manager account, and that is when you can make use of the API. Right? There's loads of tools online, and they have kept it like a what do you call that? Yeah, digital agencies might have. They have a developer forum, blog, help center. So yeah, there are code libraries, right? Like for example, if there are certain things you decide you want the API to do, but you don't really want to start the code from scratch, there are code libraries on that. Then you get the sample codes and tweak them based on your specific requirements. Right? Yeah. It uses the simple object access protocol 1.1. That is some language which I have no idea about. And like anything else with Android, they keep coming up with new updates, new versions of API. Right? And how do you get there? That is what is important for us, right? How do you quickly start with API? Right? So let me take you to my manager account page. As I said, uh, manager for API you need to have a manager account, and manager account is nothing but an account which manages multiple AdWords accounts. Right? So if you remember, I had shown my dummy account is actually a manager account. The account name is Shankar. It's a manager account under which I have individual AdWords accounts. Right? I'll get into more details of the manager account towards the end of today, but for now, let's get focus on the API. Right? So individual accounts, like for Divine Designs or TSB counseling, I cannot have an API interface, right? Because it's an individual account. But if I have a manager account, I can have an API interface from that manager account, and through that I can of course control the individual accounts, right? Yeah, of course. How can you create manager account? I'll definitely cover. That is the fifth topic of the day. Okay. So now I'm on my manager account view. There is this tools here at the right top. Maybe because I'm sharing it first. Right? You click on the tools here, you will see these tabs. You click on account setting, and there is a tab called API functions. Right? With me, go to your manager account view, click on the tool gear, click account settings, go to AdWords API functions. Right? You get to see this. Update this all this information. Right? The contact email, the company name, URL, and it also asks you who are you, right? Are you an advertiser, or are you an agency which handles multiple advertisers, or you are an affiliate like who is participating with a particular company's program, and you want to help, like affiliate marketing, right? I mean, I'm trying to promote another company as an affiliate, right? So I'm trying to promote that company through my uh, AdWords account, right? Or I can be a developer, right? I'm not an AdWords account manager. I'm a programmer, and I'm working on developing codes for the AdWords, right? So you tell under which category you fall into, and also give a quick description of what you're planning to use your API for, and of course there's a terms and conditions which no one reads, and then you create it, right? The token is your key into accessing the API. Right? When you get there, okay, let's say sorry, hope no one has an idea. Company name. I know maybe there will be a verification, so it might get shot down in between, but let's see. US or yeah, right? I get a token, right? And this token, with this token, I can get into the API sandbox. It will have the sample code, dummy codes, and I can pull them, change the code, and apply it on any of the two accounts I have. Right? Got it? When you create your manager account, you can try and experiment with the API token. And of course, to use API token, there is it's an additional investment. So how it works is it charges you based on what actions you make the API take on your AdWords account, right? Like for example, on the token which I created, yeah, sandbox is nothing but kind of a experiment box in which you create codes and try out, right? Like for example, you want to see how this line of code is going to work. Go to the sandbox, create it, and see if these errors or how it will work and things like that. Right? Like a prototype box, right? Yeah. So money, yes. When you create the token, you need to I don't know if it's prepaid or you can accrue the cost and pay it later. But anyway, for a particular amount of money, there will be API points, right? And so, for example, let me say let's assume 1,000 rupees worth of money is equivalent to say 50 API points, right? And token points. And each activity that the API would do on the account has, like, it consumes certain points. Maybe adding a list of 1,000 keywords will be say 10 points. Creating 10 new ads will be say 5 points. So based on that, whatever actions you use API to do on your account, your points will be consumed. And based on the points consumed, you will pay. So it is outside of your AdWords budget because of course you are getting things done. So money is in there. Right? This first column table is what we just saw. Right? The API units is what it is called. To give you like when you have the token, we have a rate sheet, and based on the operations you make API do, you will be charged. And of course there are terms and conditions. Right? So I know we have only seen a very top level of API, but from an AdWords point of view, it's all that you just need to know that if there are huge bulk operations which you want to set, if you want to be done programmatically, you know there is something called API, and you know how to create the token, API token from your account. And the next part is explaining the requirement to the programmer. Right? You tell them, okay, create a code in the API account token of my AdWords account to say add all the keywords suggested by the keyword planner, which will have these many searches and which will fall under this particular list. That is it. So what is the tool doing? And you can set a time frame for it, do it every week for it. What will the tool do? Yes, the account can be accessed on the web. So you can give the access levels to the account, right? So you can keep one access to yourself and of course the program, right? So what will the API do? At that particular time that you have scheduled it will actually talk to the AdWords bucket and run the keyword planner like you do annually. Get the list of keywords suggested by the planner. Look at the conditions you have set. You have mentioned it should have this much of search volume, should have this much, the suggested bid should be within this range, the estimated cost should be within this range. It will run all those conditions and shortlist the keyword. You can have multiple further conditions like I don't want to add. You can have a list of keywords and say I don't want to add the keywords that are already in this list. So it will do all that and then finally come out with the list of keywords and go ahead and run it. Right? So it is actually kind of doing the stuff which you would manually do in a fraction of the time. Right? The only drawback is that, of course, the level of control you will have will be internet because you are making the machine do it. Right? And you would need to use API only when you have multiple huge accounts which are not possible to be managed. Right? With me? And yes, as I said, AdWords, Google itself says that you don't have to be a programmer to be an AdWords expert. So they themselves suggest that all you want to use API, hire a programmer. So we need to know it only from a user point of view. From a user point of view, if you all are fine with API, we can move to editor, which will be a little more hands-on because it's something which everyone will possibly use in some point of time. But I wait a minute for that's not fine. Okay. How many of you have downloaded AdWords Editor? I know one of you just said that they will set it up. The others, and have requested this last week, so definitely some of you have. Okay. No one else? I asked the question to a group of 13 people. I got two answers. Again to 15%. New line. I mean, anyway, I will have to discuss this topic today and cover it. Just that if you already had it, it would have been more helpful to you all. That's why I requested it last week, and even today in the beginning. So if we have it well and good, otherwise we'll go through the discussion and then as and when we get time to time and inclination to download it, we can start this, right? So without looking at the slide, I'll directly go to my editor. So before that, yeah, AdWords is nothing but an offline tool to access AdWords accounts and make changes if required to make changes in bulk. So the kind of things you can do with editor are you can access your account outside of your AdWords interface. Look through the settings. You can see what are the campaigns, what are the ad groups, what are the keywords, how are the ad groups grouped, what kind of bids you have given, how are the budgets. You can even look at performances from the editor, and then you can decide if you want to make changes and make bulk changes. The editor is the best. And as I said, when I made the changes on the keyword bid about an hour ago, right, I changed the default bid of 50,000 rupees to 10 rupees, right? So if it is going to be two keywords where you have to make changes, you don't have to go through the pains of downloading AdWords and very much do it in the interface itself. But if it is 2,000 keywords, you don't want to be going 2,000 keywords and selecting and changing. You want to add adding is of course something you can do in the interface also because you can upload CSV in the interface also. But making changes, even deleting, right? If you want to delete 100 keywords, why do you want to go through the pains of selecting them one by one and then click the delete button? Rather, go to the editor, upload the list to be deleted, and just delete. Happens. So for bulk changes, you need it. And it's not, and when I say bulk changes, I'm not talking about the kind of bulk changes which I mentioned in the API. No. Even regular individual accounts, like what you all may be running, editor will complete, right? Because even a small to medium sized account will have, like, say, 10 campaigns. Like each campaign will have about 5 or 6 campaigns. Each ad group will have about, say, 200 keywords, right? So how many keywords are we talking about? 5 times 5, 6, or 30. 30 into 200 is 6,000. Right? So even an average account will have about thousands of keywords. Right? It's not easy to. It doesn't make sense to make changes to thousands of keywords manually. That is why editor comes. Right? I'll show you how the editor interface looks. Actually, uh, a very user-friendly interface. Right? This is how your interface looks like. This is how your AdWords editor interface looks like. So I'm at the account tab, so I get to see the account. So actually, I have my dummy account, which is in my name. I can see that here, and there is another account also which I used to run 2 years ago. I had access to that account also through this. I don't know if I can still access this account because I don't have the access to. Right. If I click on an account in my interface, it will ask me to log in. Which means only those who have the login to the AdWords account can have the access to this respective editor account. Right? This, of course, I can. It won't even ask me to log in because I am already logged into the account. Right? This is my MCC. MCC is the multi-client center, which has now changed to manager account. This is my manager account. These are the two accounts I have. I'm clicking on one of them. I'm going to and taken to the view of that particular account. Right? Define design. I get to see the campaign. I can of course filters which will come into play when I have a huge account with say 50 or 100 campaigns. I can select all the campaigns which are written the name. Right? All the campaigns which are created after this particular date. All enabled campaigns, all cost campaigns, or all display campaigns, whatever. Right? So I get to the campaign view. I can click on a particular campaign. It opens the ad group here. You can click on the particular ad group. It can take me to the keyword view and whatever changes I want to do. Right? The keywords. Say for example, I want to add a list of 1,000 keywords. What do I do? Right? I go to the keywords and targeting tab. I go to the individual, of course. I can add a keyword and do it here manually, or I can say make multiple changes, and I just have to copy paste from my clipboard here. Right? And the moment I do it, the moment I paste it, it will process it, and it will also help me check changes. Check changes in the sense it will see if whatever I have added, right? I added 1,000 keywords, right? Or I added say 50 ads, right? Add to something you can again like keywords, you can go to ads and can make multiple changes. You can paste the ads like the headline, description line, display URL, final URL, right? Whatever changes I make, before I post them live, I need to ensure that they are all in line with the policy, right? So for that I do check changes. Whatever changes I make, I say check changes. It will check all the changes and it will give me either approval or a no approval. Once all changes have been approved by check changes, I just have to click post changes. So what happens when I click post changes? Whatever changes I made and got approved will directly be posted to my account, right? 323-926-2540. 323-926-2540. Understood? Let's look at a little more detailed kind of changes you can make, right? In the keyword, right? If you want to make a bit change, right? Select all the keywords. Select all the keywords and say whatever changes. The common change, I can either mention it here, or of course individually I can go here. Okay, but individually making it is actually same as making it individually in the account. So probably you will not do it here, but here you can mention the keyword. Everything changes, right? Destination URL, match type, what changes you want to make, and there are labels. Label is nothing but you are tagging the keywords for your EC identification. Like for example, you created 500 keywords today, and you want to check them after 2 weeks. Right? When you go after 2 weeks, You will have those 500 keywords, and you will also have the other 5,000 keywords which are already there, right? So what do you do when you create them today? You add a label mentioning that it was created on 20th November. So 2 weeks later, when you go, you just have to pull that label. So you get to see all those 500 keywords which were created on 20th November, and then you look at the performance of those keywords, right? And of course, before making any changes on the AdWords editor, it's important that the AdWords editor has the most updated version of your account. Because what if I work on the editor today, right? On Wednesday, that is 3 days from now, someone makes some changes directly on the account, right? It's not going to automatically reflect on the editor, right? Thursday, if I come and open this editor, it will still show what I saw today, right? So what you have to do is you have to do sorry, you have to do get recent changes. When you do that, whatever changes have been made on the account will get reflected here. So that what you see on the editor is the current live version of how your account is. Then make the changes on the editor view, check changes, and post. Of course, you don't have to directly make the changes on the account. What you can also do is you can make whatever changes here and export it. Right? You export the whole account. When you export it, you will get a file which can be shared with anyone else. For example, I make suggested changes on your account, on the AdWords editor version of your account, and I want you to go through those changes first, right? So I say export changes, and I get to say your CSV file, and I can email that CSV file to you. And what will you do? You will come to the AdWords editor version of that, the same account, and you will import from the file. Right? You will import that same file, which will be saved in your local drive, and you will get to see all the changes that I have made or I have finished. And you are at the decision making position. You look at the changes, you're fine with them, you directly post. Right? Or maybe you can make some further tweaks and send it back to me the same way I sent it to you. Right? Maybe you can make a small change in the file name, so I don't get confused when I save that file. Right? Okay, I save a file and it's called the AES file. The extension is called AES. I don't know what this is. So I save it as suggested changes .aes, send it to you. You import it, you look through the changes, you make the tweaks, and you save it as suggested changes with updates, and send it back to me. I import it and I post it. So the changes happen on the account. Clear? And most of the things that you do on the account can be done on the editor also. Like even if you just look at this, you can see keywords, negative keywords, location targeting, location exclusion, placement, of course, placement and mobile app and stuff you get to see display, all those things, right? At a campaign level, what kind of things would you change at the campaign level? The name, status is pause, remove, delete, enable, campaign level budget, campaign start and end date. Do you want those partners or not? What kind of device you are looking at? Do you have bid adjustment at the device level? Right? Do you want enhanced CPC? Which bid strategy? There are 6 bid automatic strategies, right? Either a manual bidding or the different bid strategies. All those things. You can even create campaigns in the editor. Share it in the form of AES. The other person will look at it, approve it, upload it. Right? Even if you are the only person who will work on it and make the decision, you can still use editor. Why? because you don't want to, like, one is you can make bulk changes. Second thing is you yourself want to have a look at how it looks before you make it posted to the account. Right? This is how the return interface. Try to look at it as a mirror image of your account. And always, before you start making anything on the Excel, make sure that it reflects the most updated current version of your account. Which tab do you click for that? If you remember, if you have it on the screen, just look at the different options and got the question? What I'm saying is, before you make any changes to the Excel, make sure that it has the latest, the current version of your account. Otherwise, what will happen? Your editor has the say November 15th version of your account. But from November 15th to today, there were a lot of changes which were made to the account, right? But if you download your, if you look at the Excel today without making sure it is the updated account, you will still be working on the November 15th. So maybe there were a lot of changes that were already made, and you are redoing that in the Excel. You are unnecessarily doubling the work. Or maybe for all you may end up making changes which are contradicting the changes which you have done on the Excel. So you should always ensure that before making any changes on the editor, you should always ensure that it reflects the most updated version of your account. How do you do that? Not check changes. Check changes is after making the changes on the editor, to check if those changes are in line with the policy, so that you don't end up posting them and then the interface blocks this. Not checking. You are close to it, but not that. Get recent changes. So what will get recent changes do? It will import all the changes that were made to the account, and it will ensure that the view that you see on the editor and the view that you see on the account are one and the same. Got it? Yeah. So let me see what the slides are. Yeah. With interface, you don't need screenshots because you already saw it live. And yeah, of course, you can analyze the campaigns also easier than you can analyze them from the interface. Work offline, then upload live, make bulk changes. This is another thing, sorry, I forgot. Copy or move items between ad groups and campaigns. For example, you see that there are 50 keywords which make more sense in a different ad group than the ad group they are currently in, right? So in the account there is no way to drag them. In the account you will have to delete them from this particular ad group, go to the other ad group and create them, right? But here in the interface you can actually drag the list of keywords into, like, as simple as like you would do in your Windows Explorer, right? You will have, in Windows Explorer, for example, there are two folders. One is movies to be watched, one is movies which you have already watched, right? So after a week, you just want to update it. So what do? You open both the folders, right? In the folder of movies to be watched, you select all the movies which you already watched and just select them, drag them, and put them into the watched list, right? It's as simple as that in the editor. Select all the keywords from a whichever keyword you want to move from a particular ad group, drag it and drop it into the new ad group. Or you can even do it between campaigns. If there are 3 ad groups in a campaign, if you want to move to another campaign, just drag them down. Or there are 3 ad groups in a campaign which are doing really well, right? So if you remember last week I mentioned, right, if you see that some ad groups are doing really well and you want to give particular focus to them and you don't want them to have to share budget with the other ad group, what do? You create a new campaign and put all those ad groups into that new campaign and have a separate budget for that campaign, right? So you can do that. You create a campaign, drag and drop those ad groups into this campaign, and then check changes, post changes. Got it? Add keywords in bulk, large changes in feature, bids, mass scale, replacing of text is another thing. For example, for example, you were running a deal on Christmas, right? Christmas was over. Now you want to run the deal on New Year, right, or something like that. So you just want to change the keyword text. In all the keywords, you want to remove Christmas and add New Year. Right? All the keywords you want to remove Diwali and add Dasara. Or which comes first? In Dasara comes first. Change Dasara, Diwali. Right? Like for example, you say you had keywords like buy Dasara gifts online, surprise amount this Dasara, right? Discount on Dasara gifts. You want to change all those to discounts on Diwali gifts, give someone this Diwali, surprise someone this Diwali, right? Those kind of things. What will you do in Excel? In Excel, you will do Control S and do a replace text. You can do pretty much exactly the same thing GDMP. Right? So those kind of things which you cannot do in the account practice, right? These are the tabs. You don't have to see that because you already saw it there. Get you changes your hide deleted items. So deleted items in the sense if you have 5,000 keywords and you keep tweaking them, so you may not want to keep seeing the keywords you already deleted, but you want them to be, they will remain in the account, it won't run, but it will be there, right? So it may become a nuisance when you have a lot of keywords. You just have to hide deleted keywords, right? Just what you can do in the account also. Views, duplication, grouping, right? Okay, this video you can click on the link when you have the when you go through the deck, you can see the video. But more important than the video is to download it and start experimenting with it, right? Export and import account. There are different ways of doing it, but mostly what you will do is if you want them, if the other person has AdWords editor, what you will do, you will share it as AES, right? So that they can access the change from their editor interface, check them, either post them or share it back. But if the other person doesn't have AdWords editor, they can make the changes, save the changes as CSV, where they can look at it even if they do not have editor. And if you do not have editor and I share an AES file with you, you can't access it. You won't be able to access it. Right? You actually need to know what are the different ways of sharing the editor. Right? I know this is something which I have learned more by experimenting. So the objective of these slides was just to make you familiarize with how the experiment looks. That's why I took you to my editor and show the different options live. But yes, please do download them. In fact, if you all want, maybe I'll wait for a few minutes and you can download it now. Okay, good. So yeah, we'll move to the last topic. As I said, today we will finish the session before the limit of time. So we can either call it today after this, or we can discuss general questions and scenarios. Or did you guys get a set of sample questions from Manipal? Okay. Yeah, sure. Internet access. Okay. Uh, yeah, I was asking did you get a list of assignment questions or something from Manipal? Okay, like sample questions. Okay. Cool. I'll do one thing. I think I have a. Let me confirm it first before I come in. Okay, I have a practice test key. I mean, practice test question. So since we have some extra time today, let's if you all think it makes sense, let's go through practice test. Right? I will have some. We'll do one thing. I mean, it has a lot of questions, but we will cover whatever we can by the stipulated time. Do you think it will make sense? Okay, one of you are saying yes, but the link is not working. Yeah, of course we'll do that. I'm looking for positive responses. But meanwhile, I got another response which says the link is not working. Which link is it, ma'am? Talking about? And if you have the link, if you can just share it with me, right? Because I asked quite a few questions in the last few minutes, I'm not sure to figure out which question are you answering. Yeah, let me know what that link is, or maybe you can share it. I can check it. But otherwise, yeah, let's finish the manager account topic, and then use the additional time that we have in discussing the questions. Right. On that note, yes, this set of questions are a little old, so some of the new things that happened will not be covered there, which is fine, right? But it still be helpful, right? I hope that it will help push you in attempting the test this time for real, right? Okay, so yeah, so before manager account, let's take a 5 minute break because I need a break. I'm feeling terribly hungry, right? Because I know listening is very difficult, right? Exactly when you don't see the question and you are also sitting in kilos. I know it is a lot of energy drain, but talking is also a lot of energy drain. Mentally, it doesn't tire me. You can keep doing this for hours together, but yes, it takes a lot of energy, right? So I need 5 minutes to quickly refuel myself. So hope the break will help you all also. So at 12:25, we'll come back, finish manager account, and then go to the sample questions. Right? All good? Guys, it takes once in a hundredth of efforts, right, to say yes. Good. Yeah, let's see you back in 5 minutes. So manager account, yeah, all of you, like most of you would have guessed what it is. It is an account through which you can access multiple accounts, right? So it's like, for example, if I am an agency and I have 5 clients, uh, I can have one manager account through which I can access each. 5 of those, right? Of course, the 5 accounts cannot access each other. Right? Like for example, if I have 5 clients, of course, I don't want one of my clients to see my other client account. So, but I don't want to have, like if I have 5 clients, I don't want to have 5 logins, which will be unnecessarily painful, right? So I just have one account, which was earlier called the multi-client center account. Maybe Google thought this too technical a term, so they changed the name to manager account. Right? So the manager account can have multiple accounts. So what is important to know here is, of course, like one of you clearly asked, clearly pointed out, how to create a manager account. We will check that. And another point which we need to be clear about is we cannot convert an individual account to a manager account. Right? So if you have an individual account, you can't change it to a manager account. If you have a new account comes up, what you can do is you can create a new manager account and link these two accounts under that. Right? But an individual account will remain an individual account. Right? And the other possible questions are, right? Can a manager account be listed under a manager account? The answer is yes. For example, I have a pan India business, right? Like for example, I have clients in Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta, Madras. So what I can do is I can have 4 manager accounts, right, with each city name for each identification. And here, for example, I have 4 contractors working with me in Chennai, and each of those contractors have multiple clients, right? Or each of those contractors take care of those multiple clients. So what I can do is I can add those 4 contractor accounts in Chennai under my Chennai manager account, right? Similarly, Delhi, Bombay. So what is happening? There is one top level manager account, which is for my agency, right? And there are 4 sub manager accounts, each for each city. And under those sub manager accounts, there are the individual client accounts. So at the agency level, you can access every single account in that tree, in the complete tree, like an organizational chart. Right? The VP can look at the performance assessment of all of the general managers under him. Right? Each general manager can look at the performance assessment of all the managers under her. Each manager can like that. That's how the manager account works. There are 2 rules. Okay, there is another thing which also happens in the org chart. I can have 2 managers, right? I can have say one manager who takes care of my HR related aspects, my performance appraisal and all those things. I can have another manager who would be the workflow manager. Right? I get the kind of work to be done from her. Right? So likewise, one AdWords account can be under multiple manager accounts. Right? The only restriction is that one is you can have only 5 levels. Right? The example I gave of the my branches in different cities. Right? The agency, the top level, that is 1 level. Under that, you have 4 levels for each region. That is the second level. Under each region, I can have another level. Under that, another level, but only a total of 5 levels. That is one. Second thing is, I said one AdWords account can be under multiple managers here, but there is also a cap for that. You can have only 6, maximum of 6 accounts handling one individual account. Right? There was a screenshot which I had taken. I'll show you if you try and explain this. Okay, can you see the screenshot? This is how it can look. This covers many points, right? That one is one manager account. The question of can a manager account come under another? Yes. This is manager account which has an individual account, but it also manages another manager account. And this manager account has another manager account which has an individual. So this guy, can you see the cursor when I say this guy? Like, can you see where my cursor is? Okay, so this guy can access this account, this account, this account, this account. Can this guy access this account? Obviously no, right? Because he doesn't manage this account. Can this account look at this account? Again no, because though they are under the same manager, they can't look at each other, right? And the other point of the same account being under two managers, right? Here, it could be like this is the external agency which is running this account. Like I said, that person has access. This could be the marketing manager who wants to keep a tab at everything. So actually, she also has a access. And these are the few scenarios where you may want to have multiple accounts managing a single account, right? Of course, there are two caps. One is the number of levels. Like this manager, under this manager, you have level 1, level 2, level 3. You can go up to level 5. That is the cap. Second thing, this particular account now has two managers. You can go up to 6. Right? Now I'll quickly go through the slides to see if there are any points which I missed. After that, I'll go to the account and show you how the manager account looks and how to create it. Right? And that's the AdWords branch. All your AdWords accounts in one place. View and manage multiple accounts, compare performance. Yeah, that's another thing. Right? I'll show you how you can compare performance of different accounts. Automated rules is off topic. Right? This is what the slide has. So linking is also something which is better explained live. Okay, good. So yeah, I'll directly go to my account and just explain these points. So to create, actually, it's a different link from creating a usual AdWords account, because right at the time of creation, you should decide whether we have another account or an individual. Because as I say, you cannot change an individual account to a manager. Right? So of course, you don't have to worry about this link. It is just as simple as doing a Google search. Okay, let me do it. Share my screen. Because someone had asked how to create it. Right? Don't worry about the links. You just have to search only thing is, before you click on something, make sure it is the official AdWords domain, right? Support.google.com. Right? Click on it. It will first give you the why is it important, how helpful it is. Also has a video, and there is a link how to create a number. Then you get to have the on the link. Creation is pretty much same as the process of creation as such. Is pretty much same as any account. Only thing is you have to go through this link and tell Google that this is going to be a manager. Right? And like any other AdWords account, it will be linked to your Gmail account. Right? In this case, I like this is my Gmail to which an AdWords account is already linked. So you can't link multiple AdWords accounts to a Gmail. Do you guys want it created in any of your Gmail accounts? If so, and if you're fine sharing the account, you can type it. I can kind of create it on it. At some point, yeah, it doesn't use to ask for any password. Only thing is you will get a link on the mail, and you have to click to activate it. So if anyone is fine sharing the ID, let me know because I don't have any other. Okay, I have one ID. I have two ID. I'll give the what you call it first some first page. Yeah, I'm just typing the ID that I got. Name your account. Let's say what you call program. Right? And of course, it also actually asks if there is going to be my own or others. So let's call it others. And like any other account, you have to set the currency and time zone. I'm saying India, IST, Indian, right? And I read all the rules of use. Okay, yes. What will happen when I click this? You will get a mail that to that particular ID, of course. So that actually I was wrong. I thought you will get an ID, but it asks me to log in, right? Which I cannot. But I got the idea, right? Because I do remember. Oh, I think okay. I think under a manager account, if I were to create a new account, that is when the right? I can create a new account uh, under a manager account, and then that account will get the email. And once it is clicked on, uh, the account will be verified, right? But create a manager account, I was wrong. I cannot do it from another login. When you do all these steps, it will ask you to log into that particular Gmail ID, right? So of course, I'm sure you would have seen through the steps. Maybe you can share the link. And as I said, it's no difficult thing to get to this link. You just have to search and you get the link. You click on it, you start using manager accounts, you do those steps, right? So I'm sorry I couldn't do it on your behalf, but yeah, you all got an understanding, right? How you can create an account. Awesome. One second. Yeah. Now the next thing is how it looks like, right? So for that, of course, I can directly take you to my. The screen share is still on, right? Yeah. Yeah. So at the left top, not exactly the left top, yeah, somewhere at the left top, you have the account drop down, right? So it actually gives the account name, and if it is a manager account, it will say, right? I mean, it's nothing else. It feels good to see manager written under your name. In my career, I'm still a few years away from becoming a manager, so but here I can with manager written under my name. So in the drop down, you'll see whether it is a manager account, and you'll see all the individual accounts under it. So if I click this, it doesn't say manager because it is an individual account. That's why it is called client, right? So now I am on one of my client accounts, which is the Divine Designs account. So tell me on the campaigns view, how many campaigns do I see here? Please remember, right? 1, 2, 3, right? But when I go to my manager account and go to the campaign view, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why? The 3 campaigns from that account that you saw, and the 2 campaigns from the other account, which this manager account manages, right? And on the slide, we also saw compare performance between accounts, right? So in the manager account view, you can actually look at account level performance, like you would look at campaign level or keyword level performances, right? Now I know these are the two accounts which have these many clicks, this many impressions, this whatever. All right, everything, performance, budget, admin in terms of what kind of access levels to give to whom, and the other aspects. Right? What else you have for it? Now, the next aspect was how to link accounts, right? So, like now, currently I have two accounts linked under this, right? As I said, if you want, you can link a manager account under a manager account, or you can link client account under a manager account, right? So I can say link a particular IE account. So if you all have a dummy account with the account ID, if you can give, I can paste it here. Of course, don't give me access. I'll tell you how that works. If you can give me a 10-digit number of any of your dummy accounts, I'll show it. And don't worry, I won't get access unless you, without your control. Right? If you have dummy accounts, please paste the 10-digit customer ID. Now, if you have dummy account here, no, don't worry, I won't get access to your ARs. You can safely, share the number with me, because whatever I do, after I link it, you get a mail on your the Gmail account from which you are controlling that account. So if you just ignore that mail, I won't get access. So you can still. Okay, I have one dummy account. So all I'm doing is I paste this dummy account. I think I have to paste it in the same format. This one looks more like a phone number, right? Yeah. Anyway, so what I have done here is I have asked to link accounts, and I have typed in a particular dummy account. They continue, right? Right. So this what happens next is the account owner can then accept or reject your link request from the account access section of their address. And I show you that also. So I'm saying test. I say request for approval. Right? Now that person, the participant who shared this account, in her what we call linked accounts, like if that person goes to the tools here, this notification will come that this particular manager account is requesting for access. Or do you want to grant or not? Got it? There's also a way where I can see the status. These are notifications. Yeah, I mean somewhere I can also see the status of where my request stays, whether it has been accepted. Of course, when it is accepted, I get a notification, or if it is rejected, I get a notification, or if it is none, I'll just tell pending. Right? It will be, yeah, it will be in pending notifications. But where did you see pending notifications? Because Okay, you're saying from your point of view, yes, in your account, to be under if at all there are pending invitations, you will get to see them because they changed the the settings sequence and stuff some time ago, right? Yeah, on screen share, did you see on the previous window? Yeah, I'm missing it. So that's fine. You can always play around with access things because changes keep happening, right? I don't know if it comes up somewhere. I'm missing it. Okay. Because in the accounts tab, right? Right? In the earlier it was one of the direct tabs under the settings, right? So that's why I was confused, right? Okay. Uh, there are two questions here. One is where do I see the status of invitations which I have requested, and the second one, which one of you asked, like the person who shared the ID with me, where can he or she see it in the her account, right? So pending invitation here, I can see uh, when have I invited, there is an expiration date. If I want, I can revoke it, right? For you, under the accounts, under the linked accounts, you'll see if someone has requested access to you, right? And the next topic I had was the access levels, right? Account access, you will get to see this tab, and if you want to give access, right? Like if I want to give access of my account to someone, of course, one approach is as we just did. I can give my 10-digit ID to that person, and that person can add my account under his or her manager account, or I can do it here. So here, what I'm doing actually is, okay. Sorry for the confusion around the pending invitation thing, but otherwise, hope you are clear where to see what. If nothing else, just spend 2 minutes on the tool here and the different options it gives, even if they keep changing it. All it takes is that 2 or 3 minutes. Click on the tool here, you get 3 or 4 options. Play around with that, and you'll find it. Right? Okay. Now, when I say access, manager account is a different thing. Manager account is like I'm actually putting my account under that person's account. That is one thing. Access can be for other things also, right? For example, if someone joins my team, right, and he wants to learn, right? So he says, okay, give me access to one of your accounts. Uh, Let me learn it from that. Right? So what I can do is I can give him an access through which he can see the account, browse through the account, but cannot make changes. Right? Why? Because I don't want to risk the account by giving change access to someone who's very new. Right? That is one way I can give access. Second one is, what if my manager asks me I want to look at all the accounts that they're working on. But I can't tell her that then I will give you only view access. Of course, I'll have to. Oh, of course, I'll have to give complete access. That will be a different type of access where the person who I am giving access to will be able to look at the account, uh, make changes to the account, and completely control it. That is another. A third level would be maybe the VP, a very senior person, asks for it. And we are sure that that person is not going to be working, right? I mean, at that level, of course, they will be interested at the top level. So, you don't want to bother them by the nuts and bolts. So, what you do? There is something called email level access. So, if I give that access, that person will keep getting email alerts. So, they can open the email alerts and get to see whatever reports we have sent, and they can just see the report. They don't have to come to the account, nor they can do things on the account. Right? So these are the different levels of access. Right? And I would use different names to them. Email access, standard access, managed access. And there is also another access where like I can give access where the person can do everything, but cannot link other accounts. Right? The topmost access is called the admin access. Admin access means everything is covered. You are yourself an admin, so you can add other accounts or remove accounts, right? And of course, you can work on user accounts. You can make changes to user accounts. So, admin access is the top level. Then managed access is where you can do things but cannot call others or delete people. Standard access is you can see but not do. And read accesses, not read, I think it's called email accesses. Then you keep getting reports, right? And there's a full slide which lists what different access, what kind of what we call hours the different accesses have. That slide is a lot of text, so don't worry about having to learn it by heart, but you just need to know when it comes to access, there are different levels, and these are the broad aspects of the different levels of access, and you know where to see that. And when you want to give access, it will actually ask you what level of access. Right? So even if you get confused between the different levels that I said, nothing to worry. You just have to go here. You will get to see all. Right? Administrative, standard. Okay, read only is also there. And administrative is there. Or let me go bottom up. Email accesses. I'm not getting into the account, but I will keep getting emails about the performance of it. Think about it like your investor or your VP or someone at a very top level who doesn't work. No offense to your actually top level. So the top level they just need to see things, right? Read only accesses. Maybe there is someone who I'm just giving you a example. Someone who joined recently, so you're giving that person some exposure, but you don't want that person to screw up the account. So give me. Standard accesses, that person can do everything, but that person will not be able to give access to other users. Right? In my account, I have this option of adding users because I have admin access. But if I give standard access to one of you, and then and that person accesses that account, he or she will not be able to add new accounts. So if I give admin access, I'm giving complete access. Right? Okay, I have a long question. Just to understand user access, there is a digital agency called agency advertising and external advertising agency outsourcing digital work page. If I want to have user access, I will be able to see all their. No, okay. Good question. I just repeat it for the others. So the question is, if I am a company XYZ and I want to outsource some of my actual work to an agency, right? So the question is, if I give access to that agency, will I be able to see all their work or only my work? So the thing is, if you give that person a standard access, you are still the admin, right? So whomever has access to that account, whoever has access does, you still do. Right? Because it is still your account. So whatever is done on that account by anyone's account, you can see. Right? Of course, if that agency has access to other accounts, that you won't be able to see. But anything about that 10-digit account ID of which you are the admin, you can see. Does that answer your question? Okay. Right? And here again, it's as simple as mentioning the email ID and name and give level and send. So I don't want to give any of your IDs here because definitely the moment I send the invitation, if you click yes, under your pending invitation, that's a show. Under your pending invitation, you grant access. That's it. You get access to my account. And okay, when I say account, this account is linked to my Gmail ID. That doesn't mean that if you have access to your account, you can access my Gmail ID. No, you can access the AdWords account. Got it? And as I said, the admin has all root, all powers. So under the admin, you can actually see whatever needs to be done on that account. And you can react, revoke access, give invitation, revoke invitation, everything. Right? Clear about access levels? Okay. Quickly finish the slide. I don't think there is anything in the slide which we have not discussed. And yeah, where to find it? The tools gear, right? Tools gear will give you the settings, access, linked account, API, everything, right? Where in the tools gear, don't worry about that because it's just about to, like we did today. I was confused where the pending invitation is, but we decided to play around with it 15 minutes. Clear? Good. Let's quickly. Okay, can I remove or change manager account in the future? Remove in the sense you want to delete the account? Yes, you can. I think it's like writing a mail to AdWords and requesting them to remove. What do you mean by change? When you say change manager account, what do you mean? Change my manager. No, if your account is under a manager, without that manager's permission, you cannot change it. Right? Okay, now let's look at the slides. Oh, by the way, no, that is a good question. We are saying maybe in cases where I have outsourced it to an agency and then I have to change my agency. Can I? Actually, that's a good question. Give me 1 minute, Levin. I'm not sure. I got your point. I think it is no, but I haven't. I have never thought of that. So thanks for bringing it up. Let's spend 1 minute to see if that is possible. Otherwise, of course, I'll read through and let you know next week. Give me just 1 minute, right? And by about 1:15, we will finish the slide, and then we'll go to the sample questions. We still have 30 minutes for the sample questions, right? Okay. There is a terminate access option. Thanks a lot for bringing that. I've never thought of that. I'll share my screen and okay, yeah. Since we don't have the time, maybe not share the screen. But yeah, it's just that you have to go to your account and under the account, click the tools here. Uh, there is the settings. Yeah, click the tools here. Click on account settings. What you see at the top is the tab called account access. And that account access will show which are the accounts which are accessing your account and if there is any manager account, right? And if at all, if there is a manager account in this case, like when I did it through the Divine Designs account, and when I go to Divine Designs account, it mentions the Shankar account as a client manager and the Divine Designs account as a permanent access option, right? So if I do that, from the Shankar login, I can no more access the Divine Design, right? Cool. All of you understood that? Screen frozen. No, I'm not sharing a screen. Yes, provided of course. We are. Okay. What else do the slides have? Linking manager accounts. We saw. So linking any account is the same, right? It will ask you for the 10-digit code, and you just mention the 10-digit code and submit, and that 10-digit code will get a notification, and if that person provides access, the account is made. Right? Account performance plus account. It's all these continuous submit. Access. There is a slide I talked about. It's like too much of text and sorry, might be intimidating, but the best thing is just have in mind there is admin access, standard access, read-only access, email access. Have them that use cases as can, right? The DPA, the manager, the intern, right? And yeah, in the manager account dashboard, you will see the performance of all the accounts as I showed you, right? And also with the graph view. And whatever you do from an account level, you can do it from a manager account level also. That means from a manager account level, I can make changes to the individual account, right? Which is of course obvious. And yeah, create report. I think we haven't discussed it, but it's as simple as we saw the columns that day, right? Columns, segment, and all. So instead of pulling the same report, like making the selections and pulling the same report every time, you can actually it's like saving a particular search, right? In a LinkedIn jobs, instead of every time going and setting the location and selecting the function, right? To training, knowledge management, this industry, this location, this salary level. Instead of doing that each and every time, I can do it once and save that search. And the next time I want to search that, next time I feel my career needs change, I just have to go click that page. Likewise, I can create reports, and when I want to pull that report, just click that. All those settings will be applied, and I get the report. And I can even schedule reports to be sent as emails. Okay. Yeah, there are these last questions, and then we go to the sample questions. Value track tag. Oh, value track tag. Let's skip that question for now because we didn't discuss it. It's just that how when you say campaign manager. Oh, I got an email. Got an access to that particular account which I shared, the 10 digits which I shared. Thanks for accessing. Accepting, and it means that now I can access that Gmail ID also, right? Why am I not seeing any? Yeah, of course, I was just joking. I can't definitely access the Gmail account, but yes, I can access the AdWords account, but uh, only as long as that person retains, keeps the access, right? Of course, as I said, if that person wants to revoke access, that can be done. Okay, one is BS because that's how the value pack. That's how you get to see the uh, performance of how the experiments are working. Yeah, I mean, I have a question with me. One second. Can we share access with a non-Gmail email also? I think no. You can share Gmail access, but otherwise the access is shared between AdWords accounts, right? And AdWords accounts have to be linked to a Gmail account. So if you're giving access, it has to be to another AdWords account, which is linked to a. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If the person doesn't have an Gmail account, so which means the person doesn't have an AdWords account, so you can't give access. You can send email reports, but not access, right? Okay, yeah, this is B. The cost of clicks in your campaign experiment is more than your regular AdWords campaign. The cost of clicks to your regular AdWords, your experiment is more than your regular campaign. Of course, not, right? Because of course, if the experiment has a different bid, it will be bid accordingly. But it's not like it is more or less. It's based on the bid itself. AdWords API uses the following except. This is as much technical an API question can get, so don't worry about it. And this was very much there in one of the slides. It is PHP, right? Because so API and WSDL were the languages which it used. Yeah, I think there's a typo in the answer that you will see. The answer is PHP, but the selection is SOAP. You can access large multiple accounts through AdWords API, Manager account, either of them, none of them. Actually, this is a tricky question, right? I mean, yeah, the answer is Manager account, but someone can also argue that it's an API. The reason it is not C is that AdWords API writes codes, right? But still, to be able to use the API to make changes, you need to have access to that account, right? So that way, the answer has to be B. Yeah, B, the manager account, right? After okay, question here. After running your AdWords campaign for a few months, you have failed to see any opportunities. That is regarding the opportunities tab. What could be the reasons why your campaign is already optimized as per Google? There are lots of keywords to optimize. Some of your campaigns have been paused. Your AdWords has not been linked to Google Analytics, right? So there can be multiple reasons why the campaign won't show opportunities, but the correct one among these four is that it has already been optimized. Right? Because of course there are lots of keywords, that is when opportunities tab becomes even more important, right? Because randomly it is difficult, so the tab will be. Some of your campaigns cost doesn't mean that you won't get opportunities because still there are other campaigns that are running. and not linked to Google Analytics doesn't mean that you can't see opportunities. Right? Among these four, the possible. So if all campaigns are paused, then you won't have data, right? Of course, if you pause it very recently, maybe you still see opportunities based on past data. But if that's been paused for a long time, I don't know how long. But if it has been paused for a long time, like in my WHO, it's not running, there will be no opportunity. Okay. Assignment, which all of us do very religiously. Getting hands-on with AdWords editor and connecting. Yeah, of course, we discussed this today, but please, if you find the time, please do that. All these long lines are all they are saying is create download AdWords editor, access your account to that, make changes to campaign, and create a draft campaign, run experiments. Right? So now we have 26 minutes for the sample system. So I'll just share the screen, or I can share those questions, right? Okay. GCP folders and other open sources. Fundamentals. Let me know when the file is up. The Windows user profile currently lets you share only Microsoft PowerPoint. Share the document with application instead. Click OK. Okay. Yeah. Can you see the file? The questions? Yeah. Okay. I had the key on the other file. I think if I open it, you get to see the key also. Right? You see the key file now? The file with the answers in bold. Okay. It's not total advantage. Which is fine. We will toggle between versions. I share the no, how does that work? Give me 1 second, let me figure this out. So we did I have a question here. I think we did discuss many method extensions last week. I know you had asked it, and I had. I'm sure I had discussed, but of course we can do it again. Method extension is like it has not come. In fact, I don't think it has been rolled out 100%, but yes, some accounts have that option. It is a very recent extension. I think as recent as October this year. So method extension is nothing but on the ad, like we have call extension, right? You click on it and you'll be taken to the dial pad. Likewise, in method extension, when you click on it, a kind of a chat box is open, right? You can send like for example, look at it as a user, right? I search for something. I search to train the trainer courses in Bangalore. Right? I see an ad. I want to know more about them. So if the advertiser has a message extension, I click on that message extension and I can send a message to that advertiser. Right? No, message extension is exactly that. Right. Like the real-time chat, because it is actually taking you away from the ad. It goes to the message box, and of course, if the advertiser has linked it to a real-time chat application on their site, it is a real-time chat. Right? Yeah, between the user and the company, the user can chat. So the idea for an advertiser is it is giving the user a reason to directly talk to them. Right? Okay. Okay, let's do that. I can't figure out a way I can have the key hidden from you. So what we'll do is let's start with the file without the key. If at all required to double confirm, we will go toggle to the key file, right? Yeah. What is the benefit of online advertising with Google AdWords? Okay. So let me tell you. The GCP will have such questions also. It's very, very, very basic questions also. Right? We have the chat. When you answer, please mention the question number also, because we are on the fifth question. You will know what is the answer is coming to the fourth question also. What is the benefit of online advertising with Google AdWords? Advertisers can identify the IP address of users who are searching. Ads can include up to 50 characters. Ads have displayed users who are obviously see, right? Let's not spend more time on this. What should an advertiser use to organize ad groups? This is also a pretty much generic question. What should an advertiser, of course, be? You should you should group ad groups, or you should group keywords based on themes, right? If you just give the alphabet, I will not know which question you're talking about. So please mention the question, like answer it as 1C, 2C. Okay. Which best describes keyword contextual targeting? So this is a little bit of display, but not something we have not looked at. So from past discussions, we will be able to answer this. You remember those 6 targeting types I mentioned available in display? Yeah, that's got the answer. So please mention the question number also, right? You just say A, B, or C, or D. I won't be able to figure out which question you are talking about. Yeah, of course it is the themes of keywords, right? So just a quick revision. When I briefly explained the display, which we will be doing in the next week, I think, I had told the different ways of targeting in display are you can target keywords, where I can say that these are my list of keywords. Show my ad on websites which talk about these keywords. That's one. Second is placement targeting. I'm briefly giving the list of websites where I want my ads to be shown. Third is topic targeting. Instead of taking the pains of giving the website names, I'm just saying all websites under this particular topic show my ad. That is the third one. Another one is interest category and remarketing. In this category, I'm saying whomever is interested in this particular product or service, right? Google figures out their interest based on their browsing history. So wherever they are, show them my ad, right? And there is an in-market group, which is if I have been searching about flights in the recent days, which means that I am very close to buying a flight. So I'll be booked in that list, and a flight booking company can show my ad wherever I am, right? And the next one is demographics. Like I can target based on the gender and age group. And the last one is demand. So these are the different display targeting types. And this question 3 is about that, and the question is about the first one. Right? Will be matched on the keywords will be matched with the relevant content of the website. Right? An advertiser creates a new ad group in a campaign that is set to run on all relevant sites across the Google Display Network. If both keywords and placements are added to the ad group, they would work together too. Both keywords and placements are added to the ad group, they would work together too. This is also relatively straightforward. If we know the question is not clear, we can discuss, because our objective for the next 15 minutes is not to finish the 100 questions, rather is to learn from these questions. So, is the question clear? Because I don't see any answers to the first question. It is about these 6 targeting types that I said. So, what the advertiser has done is, he has keywords and he also has placements. And it is specific to Google Display Network. Of course, direct. Why can't it be B? Because B is talking about search results and something to do with GDMP. But this is only about display, right? The answer is 4D, because what I have told Google is, I want my ad to be shown in sites which talk about these keywords, and also I'm giving a list of sites. So what Google will do is, from the list of those sites, if you pick up those sites which are talking about those keywords and show me ad. Okay. When we discuss display next week, I'll explain about there's something called bid only and targeted bid. Just remember bid only and targeted bid. That will talk about how different targeting types are captured in display. Fifth question. If an advertiser, at any point, if you want to pause at any question, please let me know. Right? If an advertiser improves the quality score of a keyword, this keyword may, on the ad a higher average position, automatically reset its match type to broad, be more likely to appear in bold. Of course, A, right? Better quality score, improved ad rank, better ad position. Cool. Which method would be recommended for an advertiser who is trying to increase the quality score of a low performance keyword? Increase the daily budget of the campaign in which the keyword is located. Repeat the keyword as many times as possible in the ad text. Modify the ad associated with that keyword to direct to a highly relevant landing page. Delete the keyword and add the keyword to the campaign. 6. Not exactly B, because deleting and adding it is not going to help. Yes, the answer is 6C, because it's not that if the quality score is low, what we see in C is the only approach, right? It is one of the approaches, and among the 4 options, it is the most correct approach, right? Because maybe the keyword quality score is low because of poor CTR, and the poor CTR may be because the ad text is not very relevant, and because of the drawback of the ad, the keyword is separate. So improve the ad text. What happens when an advertiser sets a daily budget lower than the recommended amount using the standard delivery method? Very straightforward question. We even looked at it as a quick revision today. what will happen? Okay. 7C. Ads will never show. So ads will show when a user searches on the application code, but the ads rank will be. No, I think it is D, right? Because standard delivery interface case, but the ads rank will be reduced. Maybe the ads rank be reduced. Ads should not. I mean, I don't know. I need to check the. What is that? Question number 7. Ads will not show every time a user searches on the interface. Why? Because I'm sorry. Because it's a standard delivery, right? So the budget will have to be saved till the end of the day. So you can't use up the budget every time an auction runs. That's why D7. Right? There will be such questions also, right, which can be argued either way. So you have to think through and figure out the argument. Maybe 2 arguments are correct. So you have to figure out the most correct among the arguments. Quality score on Google search is evaluated. The answer is B. Maybe I haven't. Yeah, I've given the answers. For every option, quality score is evaluated. If not, past performance. What type of bidding method is used to manage image ads on the Google Display Network? This is also quite basic. Image ads on Google Display Network, the ads we see on the other websites. C, right? It's not A because I mean I like the thinking because image ads do have the CPM basis, but the fact is that image ads can also work on CPM, right? CPM or CPM. That is option C. Agreement on 9 or not clear? Because I did get 2 answers of option A. You are focused on reaching viewers with video content and are looking to pay only when the user views your ad in cost per view model. Which form of AdWords video advertising will be most appropriate? Again, straightforward. I know we haven't done the detailed YouTube session, but yes, that's true. As a user, you all know, right? When videos run on your YouTube page, within 5 seconds, if you want, I mean after 5 seconds, if you want to get it. If that happens, the advertiser will not be charged. We charge only when you view it completely. Agreement on 10. I don't see messages, so I hope there is no disagreement. Higher quality scores typically lead to, even this happens. I know this is somewhat a repetition, but even that happens. Lower costs and better access, right? 11B. Yes, all of you. I mean, when you give right answers, I do feel like calling out the names and saying it is correct, but maybe you won't be comfortable with the name being called in the group where you are not really right. That's the reason I'm not calling out names, but if all the answers you give for 11 are correct, it lowers the cost and improves the accuracy. Okay, okay, when I get quick answers, I'm honestly not reading the other options. I'm going by your answers. So which is the benefit of AdWords for search marketing? Yeah, I already got an answer. I can't figure out how customers can navigate websites, uh, collect contact information automatically. No. Yeah, I know why you would say C, because ads come up on AdWords, their link rankings would improve, so organic lists will improve, but that is not the objective with which that's not a direct benefit of AdWords. The benefit is the simpler D, right? 12D, acquire potential qualified customers, right? Yeah. Which is the best practice for creating effective ad text? Use the same ad text for every ad in the ad group. Use multiple exclamation points to grab attention. Use a home page for every URL. Include prices, promotions, expenses. Obviously, 13D, right? Does it make sense to have same ad text for every ad? Then there is no uniqueness. Multiple exclamation marks is not allowed per policy. Use a home page for every URL doesn't make any sense. Right? Because of the ad says buy t-shirts online, it should rather take the t-shirt page on offer. Obviously, the answer is D. An advertiser creates a new search campaign with the goal of driving traffic to a new website. This points to those three objectives that I have mentioned, right? So the objective in this case is driving traffic. The advertiser wants to spend very little time setting and managing individual keyword groups. Which is the best bidding option? Yeah. How can it be B? Yeah, that's 14C, right? Because there are two things they are saying about this campaign. One is the objective is driving traffic. So the objective is driving traffic, it has to be CPC, because CPM is about driving impression, CPA is about driving conversion. Right? Now there are two CPCs in the option A and option B. Then the next one. Say you don't have time. You don't have time, don't worry about doing things manually, set it automatic. That's the automatic CPC. Of course, there are multiple approaches for that as we have seen, but among these four, the answer is automatic fast forward. 15. The primary benefit of location targeting is that advertisers can choose to target the domain, choose to only target websites with a specific region or territory, target any combination of countries, territories, and regions, target specific users or only simple. 15th is straightforward, right? Yeah, obviously, the location targeting means getting to target any location, country, territory, region. 15C. You are starting a new campaign with the goals of achieving positive ROI and extending to all profitable traffic. Okay, the goal is ROI, extending to all profitable traffic. How can the AdWords average daily budget setting help when starting out? Can help limit your cost and exposure while profitability is achieved. Can limit exposure to only the geographical areas you support. Budget has nothing to do with geographical areas. It can help aim for a desired average position during testing. No? Can you make this clear? Okay. Sir, today's topic was, the schedule I was given was 3 hours 45 minutes. So I was thinking till 1:45. I generally don't cross over the scheduled time without asking permission. So I mean, I can see that's the feedback that I'm taking long time, but the fact is today's session was at least the schedule I have is 3 hours 45 minutes. I also have other stuff right after the schedule time. And yes, I think Manipal has. I mean, I think they actually told me they used it. Can check with your coordinator for the list of updated questions. Right. I have 2 more minutes. I know you have other stuff after 1:40. I won't take long. We are starting a new campaign that is done, right? An advertiser is 17. An advertiser is focused primarily on direct response as opposed to branding. The advertiser should delete keywords from a search campaign if the keywords, what is that? Contain more than 2 words in the phrase. Generate many clicks and conversions. Contain words that are duplicated in a display campaign. Generate many impressions and very few conversions. What is the answer? This is basic. 17. Okay, we didn't cover 16, is it? Okay, I'm sorry. Because that discussion came up in between and missed. Okay, 17 is B, yes, because a keyword is no wait. Focus primarily on direct response. Yeah, correct. The focus is direct response. So just getting a lot of impressions is not going to help. You want conversion. So keywords that generate many impressions and very few conversion should be removed. So answer is 17D. Right? Now 16. Sorry, the one which I missed. You are starting a new campaign with the goals of achieving positive ROI and extending to all profitable. So there are two things here. One is positive ROI and spread it across whichever traffic can get you positive ROI, right? Profitability. How can the AdWords average daily budget setting help when starting out, right? It can help limit your costs and exposure while profitability is achieved, which is a possible option, but let's look at the others. It can help limit exposure to only the geographical areas you support, which is not because budget has nothing to do with that. It can help aim for a desired outcome. Average question is a big thing, not a budget thing. It can help direct traffic to different landing pages to discover which performs best. I got two answers of B, but I had a feeling it is A. Because it's the budget that can help you limit the costs, right? Yeah, I have one person saying 16, maybe 2% saying 16. Let's check the key. Yeah, this A, right? Budget will help you control the costs, right? Okay, so that's the time we had for today. Maybe if you can give 3-4 minutes more, we can finish till 20 as well, so that we have a round number. Right? Yeah. 18, which is an example of a consideration an advertiser should make when establishing AdWords advertising goals. Competitors cost per click, website load time, target market, payment options available. 18, establishing the advertising goals. No, I don't think it is B. It is C, right? Because see, competitor CPC is something which you cannot get to know. Payment options is, of course, it's just option, not a consideration you will look at. Website load time, though it has impact on AdWords performance, that's not a consideration. The consideration is what is your target market? Because based on that, you will have to set your campaign. So 18, C. According to ad policies, what types of words, phrases, or characters cannot be included in AdWords text ad? Ads cannot contain words that are not directly related to the keyword that the ad is targeting. Ads can't use call to action phrases such as click here. All of these answers are correct. Ads can't use exclamation points or question mark. I think the answer is B, but I know there is a confusion here. I'll explain that. But let me first confirm the answer. Yeah, it is B, right? Okay, I'll tell you, uh, we did discuss that call to action spaces are a good thing to be included in the app, right? I know it was one of the best practices we discussed for creating good apps, right? Because when you read and when you get to see someone asking to do things, it will psychologically make you do it, right? So that's why terms like buy now, do this today, give someone, those kind of PPAs are recommended. But click here is actually something which kind of mimics a website action, right? Which is not allowed. Click here, download now, those kind of things are not allowed, right? The answer is B, 19. Okay? The reason is Google doesn't want ads to kind of being shown under the garb of a website component. It's an ad, it should look like an ad and it should not mimic actions on the site. That's the policy which this question is talking about. Last question of the day. If your campaign is opted into show ads on the GDMP and your display network ads have a lower CTR than your existing search ad, how will this impact the quality score of the search campaign? Your daily budget will be adjusted to account for a drop in CTR. The quality score will be adjusted to reflect the average CTR of both search and display network. One of the options is correct. Your ad performance on the display network does not affect your rank for search ads. So lower CTR on the display network doesn't affect your quality. What's the answer? D, right? 20D. Everyone there? I know because there's 1:50 in the afternoon. Even if there is no agreement, we will say the day. But yeah. The point is, they are treated as separate campaigns with no direct impact on each other's quality. And of course, I do agree that there will be indirectly because of the same account somewhere the impact will happen, but there is no direct impact in the quality score of search from the performance of this. Got it? Okay, so guys, maybe you can check with your coordinator to share the because this is a little old. I was told they have a sample list. But just check with that. Even if you don't get it from article, nothing to worry. You can directly attempt the test and get to see the questions, or simple search on Google will give you a lot of, and you can rely on Google's search algorithm to ensure that the top links that you get will have good questions, right? Okay, thanks everyone. Let's catch up next week. Please take a stab at the test between now and next week.